Good Monday morning, everybody. Chris Allen with your weather podcast for this March 28th. Hope that you had a great Easter holiday weekend. It was a bit stormy last night. Even a couple of severe weather reports over toward Christian County, Trigg, Christian, parts of Muhlenberg. The Weather Service, the Paducah National Weather Service office, will be out today surveying what they say is a little bit of damage to some barns and maybe a couple of homes. Not sure if it was a tornado. It's an unconfirmed report. But last night we were seeing some of those couplets that, or at least one very pronounced couplet that could have been a weak tornado right around the Crofton area in Christian County. And we think that maybe did produce something there. Again, the Weather Service will go out today and take a look at that and determine if anything came from that. But otherwise, we didn't have any other reports of severe weather, and it quickly faded away as we got later into the evening, about 8:30, 9 o'clock, closer to 10 o'clock. Just general showers and thunderstorms, so the severe weather threat went down pretty quickly after that. Now, cooler air is going to take over for a few days, but really more seasonable air. We've been kind of spoiled to 70-degree weather when it's really not supposed to be that warm just yet, and we do see some cooler days ahead, especially as we get into the upcoming weekend. As we review the numbers from your Sunday, your Easter Sunday, here with your time check at 4:47 a.m. Central Time. 74 was the official high temperature at the Bowling Green Airport yesterday, just before 2 p.m. 64 is the average, so we were 10 degrees above the average high. 48 was our low, 40 the average low. We were 8 degrees above the average low there for the day yesterday. 1 year ago, we had a high of 47 and a low of 32 back in 2015. And officially, we picked up only 0.2 of an inch of rain at the Bowling Green Airport. So now for the month of March, we're at 2.6 inches of rain. We should be at 3.8. So that's an inch and 0.2 below the March average. And year to date, we're showing a deficit of a little bit over 2 inches. So we still could do some catching up in the rainfall department, even though water tables seem to be fine. If we continue on this pattern, then we'll have to be a little bit more concerned as we get on into April. But typically April is going to be, the month of showers. April showers bring May flowers, and May flowers bring pilgrims. Yeah, it's an old weather joke. Anyway, here's the forecast for today. All the shower activity is gone, but in wake of the cold front and the rain last night, still a pretty good layer of clouds out there this morning. Mostly cloudy today. It will be cooler. Just how soon we shake off the clouds is really anybody's guess. It's one of those situations where, kind of like the other day, we had clouds in the morning, not really sure when the sun would peek out, and it finally did by late afternoon. It could be just like that today with a high of 60 and a northwest wind at 10. Tonight, clearing and colder. We could even find some areas of patchy frost. So if you put out any sensitive vegetation for the spring growing season, you may want to cover it up or bring it in. 38, the overnight low. Tuesday, a return to sunshine and a little bit warmer with a high of 65, more average with our temperatures as we get into Tuesday. A big warm-up coming for Wednesday with increasing clouds. We'll see a high of 75, but that's going to set us up for another round of showers and thunderstorms as we get into Wednesday evening, Wednesday night, and through the day on Thursday. Now, right now, we are not looking at a severe weather risk, but that could change. We are looking at the possibility of a few strong thunderstorms with some heavy rainfall, lightning, of course, gusty winds, as we get into Wednesday night. The rain chance already at 90%, so it's a pretty good chance already 3 days out. And then on Thursday, the last day of March, 70% chance of showers and thunderstorms and a high of 73, but with the passage of that cold front, temperatures will begin to fall into the mid-40s for overnight lows on Thursday night. And then as we get up on Friday, the first day of April, also April Fool's Day, it looks like it's going to be sunny but cooler, but really, again, seasonable with a high of 62. Saturday looks good, sunny and 60. Same for Sunday, sunshine and again around 60 degrees. So it looks like the upcoming weekend is going to be nice, but just a tad cooler than this past weekend. One little order of business here, and generally I should not probably get worked up. And of course, I'm just talking to you guys, my podcast audience, because you get it. You understand it. You understand why we do the things that we do, and maybe the policy or the responsibility of our weather team here at WBKO. Sometimes it always comes into question. It's and pardon the French here, but it's damned if you do and damned if you don't. It's one of those situations, and usually when you hear from both sides of that equation, you think you're pretty much striking a equal balance. I'm always concerned, though, that we miss something or maybe not being responsible enough, and that's just I guess that's just always been my concern that maybe we're not doing all that we can to let you know what's going on. And so sometimes I just, in these severe weather situations, I want to make sure that we've got all of the bases covered. And as you know, we're committed to being here all hours of the night if we have to, pulling all the resources that we can. It may not always be the best, but we hope that we do our jobs as good as we can. But sometimes I allow, and I'll admit, and you probably have done this too, you'll allow comments on social media to really, stick that knife in your gut or in your back or whatever, and just, kind of crawl up your spine. And, well, last night people were like, well, why aren't you cutting in? Why aren't you, it's a tornado warning. Why aren't you just I thought your policy was you go wall to wall with tornado warnings. Well, let me explain. The tornado warnings that came out for Christian County and Muhlenberg County, those were unconfirmed reports. And, of course, today we may find out it was a weak tornado. But from what we were seeing, and we have much better technology now than we had even just a couple of years ago, we're better able to detect whether this is the kind of a warning that really warrants us to break in on programming and just go wall to wall, uninterrupted. Now, certainly, if, those areas that are being affected, we will do that when we feel like we're getting reports of, somebody actually sees the tornado in that polygon. And that's another key thing, is that why warn an entire county to take cover when the storm is only, 50 to 100 yards wide, if that much, and it's only going in one direction. And, the technology and the science is so much better now than it used to be, that there's really no need to stay on and repeat and rinse and repeat and just keep on going. And then, no reports come in. And that's another issue, is that we don't have enough people sending us reports. And so we're sitting here going, well, should we stay on the air or should we just go back to programming? So what we saw last night wasn't enough to prompt a continual on and on and on coverage. Certainly, we could have probably live streamed a couple of things, and that we'll work on those issues. But looking back, probably would have maybe gone to live stream and done maybe just a little bit more coverage. But there really wasn't any other reports. I mean, no reports of trees down, no reports of really anything except that one cell that was over in Crofton in Christian County, which could turn out to be a weak tornado based on the damage survey that the Weather Service will do today. So other than that, we thought that the coverage warranted what we did. The crawls, we sent out text alerts, we sent out a what we call a push notification if you're signed up for that through our app. We updated social media, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, and kept folks up to date. I'm not sure what else we could have done. So it's almost like sometimes we get, you weren't on enough or you were on too much. And there's never a happy medium, it seems sometimes. So such is the case here. And I'm not whining. I don't want you to go, oh, poor Chris, and blah, blah, blah. It's not that. I just want you to know that if you trust us for your coverage, please trust us to know that we are keeping an eye on it and we are watching. And because of the better technology today, we can watch it with better eyes than what we've had in the past. And if it looks like it's really going to be something very dangerous, life-threatening, and all that, then certainly we'll go wall-to-wall and live stream and all that. But last night it just seemed sort of borderline. You know what I mean? So this is just a heart-to-heart to you guys, the podcast listeners who seem to get it a little better than most people. And just understand that's why we did what we did, okay? I guarantee you, I would not be able to deal with an actual outbreak of tornadoes and people are hurt or dead and we missed it. That's just not going to happen. I just would not be able to allow that to happen. So just know that we're on this, we're watching it, and please just, I appreciate your loyalty and I appreciate your trust in us to make those calls and make those decisions. Yes, the Weather Service did put out tornado warnings. Sometimes those are radar indicated and not actual tornadoes on the ground. We're seeing the rotation, but there are no reports coming in. And when no reports coming in, it's kind of like, well, we see the rotation, but it's maybe not reaching the ground. Radar does not see what's on the ground. Keep that in mind. It can see what's maybe rotating above us, but whether that's hitting the ground or not, we still need ground truth to tell us that. And when we don't get that report or we don't get those reports, then we assume that, well, maybe there's nothing there. But if it's on the ground, maybe it's out in farmland and it's not hurting anybody. It's just one of those conundrums that we always deal with in weather, and we just have to go with our gut and make the best call that we can. So there you go. There's that. All right, I've gone long enough, 13 minutes here. Have a great day. Thanks for listening. God bless. Know the weather before it knows you. I'll see you live at 5:30 on AM Kentucky, 11 a.m. on midday, streaming live to the WBKO app and WBKO.com. And then join me later this afternoon for the Chris Allen Radio Show at Classic Hits, Sam 100.7 between 3 and 7 p.m.